sure we're live first. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Of course, I'm DocG, and this is DocG Presents, and this is entertainment, Ablaze Entertainment's artist. Today we have the artist Justin WRIGHT. Justin is a music artist from the ensemble of Ablaze Entertainment, and I want to welcome him to the show. Welcome, Justin.
Hey, appreciate it, DocG. How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you. So before we get into your music, which we're going to get into, let's dive into your background. First of all, what are your influences in the music that you're writing, and what is the influences of all the music that you listen to?
Sure. So it's one of the things that's interesting about me is that, I write from a diverse areas. Almost never when I write one song and then I go to the next song, does it sound the same? The subject matter is different. The overall mood, the tonality, if you will, is something that's different. And, it's one of those things where I grew up with a lot of different musical influences. My father brought me up into Southern rock and everything like that. And we did listen to some of the traditional country as well. As time went on, I gained a lot of influences from other genres. I went out there and explored it myself, particularly in the alternative and the alternative and the grunge movement was a very prevalent thing when I was really, really delving in and getting an interest into music. Mm-hmm. And, it's one of those things that, I take influences from all of them. I mean, you can pretty much name, you could say from any genre, who's somebody that influenced you. And I could say who that person is and I could tell you,
So you come from the Southern rock era, that would be the Charlie Daniels, Leonard Skinner.
Exactly.
Is that basically the 60s, 70s era or
yeah. Listen. I mean, I listen to a little bit of everything. I mean, when you get into like the actual classic rock, you're talking about the what I consider classic rock. I mean, you can even go back into the 50s, there's some pioneers there. Yeah. In the early 60s, I think the early 60s, somebody that really resonated me was Muddy Waters. His blues take and the way he really took it. And then you go into the 60s, you have people like Led Zeppelin, or the late 60s, I should say, like Led Zeppelin, and songwriters, just wonderful songwriters like Bob Dylan and stuff like that. And it's just a progression. I find myself just getting into the catalogs of one artist from one week to the next, and it has the influence, and of course, once you go into the 70s, it's the Leonard Skinners, the Marshall Tuckers, Charlie Daniels band, stuff like that. And really, I take a little bit of influences throughout all of those eras and all those genres.
Yeah, I love all, I love all them songs. I even Pure Prairie League with,
Oh, absolutely.
Amazing music. So into your songs.
Yes.
So that influence is still into them songs as well, or different ones?
No, it really is. I mean, I think that, music's been along for enough amount of time to where it's just about when you hear something that you're just like, that's revolutionary. It's extremely rare. I mean, when you hear a certain song, you can say, okay, I can hear the influences of X into this song. I can hear the influences of X into this song. And I think one of the reasons why that we have, myself and my band, the Dirty Strings, I think one of the reasons why we've been able to really catch the attention of some people is because it's not necessarily that we're doing something individually that is, brand new. Like I said before, it's almost impossible to do that in music anymore. But what it is when you start meshing and melting different influences, and then it comes out to something that it's completely different. I mean, like you have the ingredients to make a cake, but if you mix different ingredients, you're like, wow, this is new, but it's still a cake. So
It's funny you say that because as a songwriter as well, I see the difference in my early songs well, actually, I'll just say the first song I wrote with a friend, Amory Pacerno, was actually up for a Grammy Award nomination, which was
right.
really exciting.
Wow.
But now the songs I'm writing, they're more relative to basically what I want, and I'm more freer with them. And I've noticed
Sure.
when I'm handing around to other artists that they're more hit bound. And I think the influences are just coming through left and right. I mean, they're just
Sure.
piling up of all the songs I've had in my head. So like you listen to all these songs are like, wait a minute, there's a hit somewhere in here, and there's a amazing
Right.
song. And you pull it right out. And it's just, I mean, I've never been a songwriter where I could just come up with the lyrics, but now that it's so easy to work with,
Right.
um, it's just like riding a bike, I guess. Once you start riding it and you get used to it, you just start riding it.
Yeah. And I mean, and the song really dictates the approach for me. If I'm writing a song and you're like, wow, that's a really, really catchy hook type of thing. To me, I'm approaching it from a different standpoint as to, okay, I have a conceptual song like A Fatal Attraction that we just released. That was a conceptual song for me. Like it was a plot driven song.
Right.
So, if I write a song like our first release, Because I Can, that was a catchy hook song that really was just, to me, lyrically was more visceral. And then when you go into the Fatal Attraction, would really delved into multiple human conditions, and it required a little bit more of in-depth uh, uh, writing in terms of taking an idea
Right.
as opposed to a subject. A subject and an idea to me are two different things. So,
Well, let's hear the one of the songs from you. Let's set this up. Tell me what song we're going to be hearing. Tell
sure.
me
So
about
this,
how you wrote it, and then just go into it.
yeah, absolutely. So this song right
Already,
here is our latest release. It came out it came out 2 Fridays ago. Um, Grammy Award winning producer and engineer Jeff Huskins actually did this for us at BMG Nashville, and is distributed through Tough Duck Music as well. Of course, we have to go ahead and give our flowers to Paul Ann and the Blaze crew and everything as well, because they're really, what they did is, all the catalogs and everything that I've got, they're the ones that say, okay, I think this one right here is the one you need to go with. And so this song right here is a plot driven song. I've actually had, somebody tell me, and it's a little bit darker than what I normally do.
okay.
But I had somebody tell me that they think it's a 2 hour Hollywood reel shoved into 4 minutes worth of music. So, and that's, to me, that at least that's one of the reviews we got back. So, and so this song right here is it's the timeless tale of love gone wrong, and somebody having to pay the price for it. And this one's called A Fatal Attraction.
Oh, okay.
Now this, I'll go ahead and preface this. This version right here is a stripped down version. It's more of a than what you hear when you go to your streaming media. But I love doing this version of this song. It's called A Fatal Attraction.
Okay.
A coyote is howling in the middle of nowhere. Life dealt a dirty hand and it just ain't fair. I take out a shovel and I pass it over to you. I light me a cigarette and take a swig or two. What made you think you could give your love away? I guess you should have warned him, that's the price we pay. I had to make you an accessory to it all. Anyone finds out, we'll both take the fall. A scarlet letter under a dawn sky. The price of your transgression is mighty high. A fatal attraction now put on a shelf. Now you dig a different hole for yourself. It's almost more than I'm willing to take when I think about the kind of love we made. Then the thought crosses, you gave it to another man. That's a little bit more than I can say. Just a few more hours till the morning light. Gonna take it's wrong, try to make it right. A scarlet letter under a dark sky. The price of your transgression is mighty high. A fatal attraction now put on a shelf. Now you dig a different hole for yourself. The story read tomorrow of a missing man. Why you ran off with that woman, try to understand. You're probably wondering why you're digging deeper than they do. 'Cause the last hole you'll ever dig was made for two. A scarlet letter under a dark sky. The price of your transgression is mighty high. You can lay in his arms for all eternity. So goes the story of you and me.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So that song is on another CD coming out. Is that the whole thing?
Actually, it's been released as a single. It's on all streaming platforms right now. Of course, your major ones: Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube as well. But it's on, if I'm not mistaken, I think I've been told it's on 75 different streaming platforms.
Wow.
So there's a very strong possibility that your preferred streaming platform, it's on there, and it's Justin Wright and the Dirty Strings, A Fatal Attraction.
Dirty Strings. Why is the band called Dirty Strings? What's going on?
Okay, that's, you know what? You are the first person to ask me that, and I have so been wanting to tell people about this. Okay, so we were getting together as a band, and of course, the time-honored question. Okay, we've got something here. What's the name of the band going to be? And so I'm a huge. I don't know if you're familiar with Sturgill Simpson or not. Sturgill Simpson is one of my favorite artists. He's one of those just transcendent artists that he's had a big musical influence on me.
Okay.
And he's got a song that, or got a lyric in a song that said, I don't need to change my strings because the dirt don't hurt the way I sing. Okay. And so that line stuck to me, and I was like, you know, the Dirty Strings wouldn't be a terrible name for a band. And considering that we are that edge of country, really push the envelope in terms of it. It's not quite as clean as that chicken picking stuff that's traditional out of Nashville, but we feel like there's a place for it. So hence the name, the Dirty Strings.
I love it. I really love it. I think that's really cool the way you pulled that together.
Absolutely. Well, and it wasn't just me. We've got 4 other members of the band that have really helped push this to the next level, and have really helped me with the creative process as well.
Oh, so cool. That's really cool. So, all right. So go back to your music.
Sure.
Now you play around your area, and where's your area? Where do you primarily play at bars and things?
I mean, we kind of transitioned out of that. We initially started playing bars. What we're looking at right now is more music centric venues. We have had the opportunity to play some larger events, festival type of things. I had an opportunity to open up for some people as well. That it's just been really awesome. When we started this journey, our goal was just to be a really good band that played around locally and played the local bar scene and everything like that. And as it evolved, we started mixing in original music with our show, and we started getting the reaction. And then the next thing you know, we get an invitation to go to Nashville. We play it the first time. Thanks to Paul Ann for that invitation. Actually, Paul Ann and I did not have a business relationship up to that point, but we went to Nashville. We played what we had. We didn't know how it would go because the sound was a little different, but we got an amazing response. And then just kind of the rest is history, I guess is what they say.
So what kind of covers do you play when you go out? Other people, other artists?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we gained a reputation for locally, and we've kind of taken out with us, is the broad spectrum of covers that we do. We'll go anywhere from, of course, it goes without saying, Southern rock. All of the influences that we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. I'll even take it to Motown. I'll do some Bill Withers, and and we actually will medley in some Stevie Wonder every now and then. As far as alternative music, we'll do some Three Doors Down every now and then. Play some Matchbox 20. We have an amazing medley to Last Dance with Mary Jane that actually we've been known for. It's actually one of those things we kind of put out there, and that medley normally ranges from about 12 to 16 minutes when we play it. So,
I mean, Tom Petty, what an amazing artist he was. I mean, and as a person too, just to be part of the Beatles family with Jeff Lynne and Bob Dylan and Roy Orbison and just all them guys. My good friend Phil Hatton actually was with the band, backing vocals, and he's with George Harrison. So
sure.
And he's been Jeff Lynne's agent for years, friend,
sure,
agent, sure. But just to know them guys and to know that Tom Petty's music is still alive, it just makes me feel good.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you take a look at it. Bob Dylan obviously was in his day was what was considered an American poet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd long said this. There were people that were doing great things in music when Tom Petty really burst onto the scene. But from just a sheer poetic standpoint, he was pretty much that guy at that time, in terms of, you really delved into, you could see the intricacies of his lyrics. His lyrics were kind of akin to Bob Dylan. And at that point, when Tom Petty was really coming out, there wasn't a lot of people doing that. I mean, let's be honest. Willie Nelson's been doing it for 177 years now. But I'm just saying that, at that time, at that point when he really came out and he stepped out, he was almost like a unicorn, because it was, the Bob Dylans of the world had kind of shuffled back a little bit. So Tom came in at a great time in music for him to be appreciated. I can say that.
So is that your favorite song of Tom Petty?
The thing is I get into the catalog of Tom Petty, and just, it's hard to say. We do Last Dance with Mary Jane is probably not my favorite song that he's ever done. But it's the one that the crowd really seems to respond to. It's the one where, and we play it because, like I said, with the medley, we mix all kinds of stuff into it. And, it's one of those things where we can look at the band and say, okay, we've got to shake it up a little bit. And we always seem to go back to that. And it's funny because we'll go in and play around here locally. Well, I say locally, it's actually more of a regional thing now. We'll go into Western Kentucky, or we'll go into Missouri or something like that, and people know you guys are the band that do that. And they'll almost instantaneously ask for it, and we'll be like, we're going to play it. We've just got to plug it in at the right time of the show.
See, I like what you just said there, because this is something that bands can learn. Okay. Not only did you embrace the songs that people like, that already know the songs, they like you more for that as well.
Right. And the thing is that it's almost a lot like we were talking about before. You know, everything's just it's almost impossible to do something that no one's seen before in music.
Right.
So what you do is you take all those ingredients once again and you make it something that's different. And you know, I think that that's one of the things that's really endeared us to the crowds, and actually endeared us to the music industry by and large, is the fact that, you know, we embrace all of those musical influences, and we, instead of us trying to reinvent the wheel, what we do is we just try to take all of those things together and create our sound that we can call our own.
That's incredible. So I have to ask you this question. What comes first when you're writing a song? Is it the song, the music, or the lyrics? Or is it both? Some artists it comes both. I mean, when I do songs, right, I'll just tell you, when I do songs, the lyrics usually sometimes come, and then sometimes they don't. So it depends on the song.
Yeah, so you can take a look on my recorder and everything. The answer to that is yes. There's no rhyme or reason
Right.
the way I start my music. You know, it could be one of those situations where I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna play around a little bit on the guitar, not worry about singing, and then I play. It's like, ooh, that's a tasty lick right there. So I record the lick, and then I'll come back and I'll be like, okay, what kind of emotions does that lick elicit to me? And I'm like, okay, this is the type of song I need to write for that lick. Then there's certain times where certain lyrics come to my mind, or subject matter come to my mind. And then I go, okay, this is the subject matter. Where do I need to be living on this fretboard? So to me, it's not, there's no rhyme or reason to how I start my music. It could be either way.
Gotcha. Now, do you primarily play guitar, or do you do other instruments as well?
So I actually, I'll tell you, I actually picked up the guitar because as a vocalist, I stood out as a vocalist, and then, you know, sit around and writing with a few people and everything like that. And they said, you know, you're a pretty talented songwriter, you know? And so that's when I started picking up the guitar. For years and years and years, I just did it to where I could just strum out create structure for these songs that I was writing. And, you know, as things progressed, I did pick up the guitar. I predominantly play the acoustic guitar. You know, I will every now and then pick up an electric guitar, but I predominantly play the acoustic guitar. And I have, you know, through the progression of my songwriting journey, if you will, have picked up the keyboard a little bit. I'm not what you would consider a performing keyboardist, but that keyboard, yeah, you know, finding those keys a lot of times, or you know, you're sitting there with a song, or a situation where, you know, you did write the lyrics first, and you're like, I got to find it. Well, sometimes it's a lot easier to flip a switch on and just go, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I like this, I like this, I like this, in order to write the music. So those are my instruments of choice. But as far as performing, I basically stick to the guitar.
Okay. So we're going to have you perform another song before we end. We got about another 8 minutes. So can you give us an idea of what song you're going to perform and a little background on it?
Sure. So this song right here is, I'm going to give you something a little different here, than what the first song was. You know, we talked about those songs that were, you know, elicit emotions and things like that. They had to be written a certain way. And this song is actually more of a, hookish song, if you will. But as I wrote this song, it did take a little bit of a deeper emotion to it. And this is one that actually I don't play acoustic a whole lot, because it's one of those energy songs, those punch songs. But and I have not played it quite some time on acoustic, so we'll see how this one turns out. This song is called "I'll Catch a Buzz." It's kind of a I'll catch a buzz, you know, it's kind of a play on words. You know, the guy goes out and he drinks him a few and he catches a buzz. And then as you hear it, you know, the song goes along. We have some play on words on it. So,
okay.
Like I said, I haven't played it in a while, but we'll go ahead and do it. This one's called "I'll Catch a Buzz."
All right, go ahead.
Cold beer and a tight line, catfishing in the moonlight. Another southern Friday night here in the dark. Old job has got me down. I ain't heading into town. Just put me by my lonesome here in the dawn. So I sat on this pier, drinking budget beer, thinking about my life like every man does. I'll fight off all the mosquitoes, fight off all the bugs. I may not catch the big one, but I'll catch a buzz. Woke up the next day, BC powder and a Gatorade, hot shower and a clean shave. I'm out the door, burning down the neon light nearly every Saturday night. Nothing wrong with getting right when the spirit moves. So I'll sit on this bar, drinking PBR, trying to catch that girl that every man does. I may be the biggest fool there ever was, may not catch your blue eye, but I'll catch a buzz. Bartender says it's last call, time to settle down. You ain't gotta go home, but you can't hang around. So I give her my number to myself. I ain't really optimistic, but you never can tell. So I'll shuffle on back home, and I'm all alone, just like at that lake the night before. My phone starts ringing, guess who it was? Man, I sure am glad she gave me a buzz. 10 years and 2 kids later, man, I think it was the weekend nights I'd go out and give me a buzz.
I like it. Good stuff.
Thank you. It's kind of a hook. It's kind of a hooky song, and then as you get along it, it does make a little bit of a emotional sense. So
That's really cool. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Let's tell everybody again where we can get your music, your name of your band and who you are, and what songs they need to get now, because this is the new song came out, right? The first one you did.
Sure, absolutely. So once again, my name's Justin Wright. You can find our music on any platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. The latest single out is A Fatal Attraction. We actually do still have another single called Cause I Can that's still in great rotation as well. It actually did hit #1 on Cruising Country Radio's independent station. Super excited about that one. So you can catch both of those there. If you're looking for us on social media, you can find us at on Instagram at Justin Wright Music Official. You can go to Facebook and look us up at Justin Wright Music, and we also have the Justin Wright and the Dirty Strings page as well. If you would like to check that out. If you're wanting to find us on the internet, it's justinwrightmusic.com. That's pretty much where we've got all of our stuff at right now, and we're super excited for this next chapter in our musical careers to come out, and kind of see what this single's doing right here, and just move forward and see if we can keep making music.
Where are you going to be live at recently in the next week or so?
Yeah, so we've actually got coming up. You know how it is on the road. Sometimes you have to absolutely run through your Rolodex of everything. We're actually playing. There's a resort area that's not far from us on Kentucky Lake. We're actually playing an event right there. For we played it 4th of July, and it was such an overwhelming response that we played it in Benton, Kentucky, at a place called Floyd's. We're playing there Sunday. Tuesday, we actually really super cool. we have the opportunity to play our local county fair, which our local county fair is actually a very large event. It's actually the second or third largest, you know, county fair in the entire state, and it's a great honor for them to ask us because you know they've had large musical acts that have come in, and for them to trust us with that entertainment, it's super awesome. And then next Friday, which will be the 6th, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be at Nash House in Nashville for our single release party that starts at 6 p.m. And you know, from there, it's just going to be a fun journey because we've got so many places that we're going to get to go and so many new places we're getting to go as well. And just feel extremely blessed to be able to do something that I and the band, I know they say this, that they love as well.
That's good, man. Well, I wish you nothing but success, and you know, I love your music. I hope you reach out to me and make sure you send me all the new stuff and all the other stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
So I can keep playing it because I want to keep this stuff alive for you. That's musicians need to be relevant, but they also need to be out there. If you're not everywhere like you are, that's great. The thing, and one last thing,
Yeah.
give our artists that are coming up right now some kind of advice of what to do in the music industry with AI coming out and a lot of different things happening. What is
Sure.
the best thing in your eyes to do?
Well, the best advice that I can give an aspiring artist to me is to literally just, I know this may sound cliche, but don't give up, push through, continue to be creative, because it can be that one idea, that one thing that literally propels you through that. You know, you may have a day or two where you feel like, "Ah, I just can't do this," or the crowd, that was a tough crowd and stuff like that. Just you know, persevere and push through, and remember that most people didn't start music to you know, to necessarily do it as a career. They did it because they loved it.
Right.
And if you ever find yourself in a situation where you feel downtrodden or you feel like it feels like a job, remember when you started, why you did it, and get back to it.
I love
That's the
that.
best advice I could give.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for your time, Justin. I hope everybody enjoyed the interview. We're going to say goodbye to Justin. Thanks for your time and wish you best of luck with your band and your music and going forward.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye-bye.